Trump just admitted it.
I am trying really hard not to overreact here, but I just watched a video where Donald Trump literally said, we took freedom of speech away.
Well, Donald Trump officially admitted it today, proudly saying we took away the freedom of speech. He also met with Nick Sorter today, where he handed him the American flag the apparent Antifa members were burning. Trump then asked, do you know who burnt this flag? To which he says, oh yes, I know exactly who did it. Then Trump says, we're going to indict them. Check this out.
Flag burning mob, and we've made it 1 year penalty for inciting riots. We took the freedom of speech away.
Took this flag from that man that was burning it in the street.
Do you know who he is?
Oh yeah, I know exactly who it is.
So why don't you give it to Pam? Give it to the Attorney General, and let's start prosecutions.
This is not about protecting the flag. This is about erasing one of the most fundamental rights in America, the right to protest. The Supreme Court has already ruled against this in the past, upholding free speech, but Donald Trump does not care about that. He's not defending patriotism. He is criminalizing dissent. When Trump says things like we took the freedom of speech away, just know he is not joking or being sarcastic at all. He's already targeted journalists, protesters, government employees, as well as entire news stations for speaking out against him. And now he's saying he wants to prosecute people for expressing themselves. That is not democracy. The flag is a symbol of freedom, not obedience. What Pam Bondi and Trump are doing is essentially flipping that meaning upside down. They're using patriotism to silence opposition. That's what regimes do when they want to control public opinion and hide abuse. Peaceful protests are being labeled domestic terrorism, and the DOJ is being used to intimidate activists. Something has to change.
The first time the Supreme Court ruled on flag burning was Texas v. Johnson in 1989. This all dated back to a 1984 incident where a man burned an American flag outside of the Republican National Convention in Dallas. He was convicted under a state law that prohibited the desecration of a, quote, venerated object. The court ruled in a 5-4 decision that Johnson's act was expressive conduct with clear political motives and therefore was protected by the First Amendment. The next case was a direct response to that Supreme Court ruling, United States v. Eichmann, 1990. After the Supreme Court ruling, Congress passed the Flag Protection Act of 1989, which outlawed flag desecration at the federal level. It also included an expedited review process to get the issue back up to the court quickly. Sadly, another 5-4 decision in favor of protected political speech. It actually struck down the congressional law. The reasoning? It was unconstitutional to attempt to suppress expression because it banned conduct solely based on its communicative or symbolic impact. Because the federal law exempted disposing of flags via burning and showed that it was only interested in protecting the flag's symbolic value, not in regulating the act of burning itself.
So I have Republican and Democrat friends. My ex-husband is a Republican and we're still friends. I work really hard to respect our different viewpoints and find common ground even when that is difficult. But this is completely different, and I don't care how you interpret it or spin it. He said what he said. We took freedom of speech away. Those were his words, not taken out of context, not misquoted. He said it. And I think this is one of those moments where we need Republicans to get mad too, because freedom of speech, it's not a partisan issue. It's an American value. It's literally the First Amendment. So if you're a Republican and you're watching this and you believe in the Constitution, in free speech, in basically what this country was built on, then we need you to speak up right now, because this shouldn't be a left versus right thing. This should be all of us saying this isn't okay.
You guys are gonna think I'm fucking crazy, okay? But I saw this video I think Daily Mail posted, right, where Donald Trump literally says the words, "We're taking the freedom of speech away because," and I tried to stitch it, right? And it kept closing my app, crashing my app every single time I did that shit. And so I screen recorded it so that I could see if it would happen while I was screen recording it, so I can get proof of this bullshit happening.
We took the freedom of speech away because
right, and for me, that's the third time that had happened, but I only got that one screen recording, okay? So I tried it again. So I'm not saying that this is like direct censorship of our freedom of speech and our ability to say what we want about anything, because, you know, that's kind of what this country's based off of. But that is exactly what he is saying.
Donald Trump literally said,
we took the freedom of speech away. No joke. Like, this whole administration has just been filled with hypocrisy, flip-flopping back and forth. Like, the Conservative Party is no longer recognizable anymore. Like, you can't tell me this is the Conservative Party that we saw like several years ago, where they were talking about small government, hands-off economic style, you know, less foreign engagement. It has literally been the opposite of all that. Like, the foundational principles of conservatism is gone. They're not following any of that. The government literally owns has a stake in companies. Like, they own like 10% of Intel. Like, this is crazy. Like, the level of hypocrisy is crazy. And at this point, I'm actually, you know, I hate to fearmonger. I really do hate to fearmonger. But at this point, it is getting kind of dicey here. What do you mean we took away the freedom of speech? How do you casually just say that? Like, what are we doing here, guys? Like, if you are agreeing with this, like, if you're one of the guys that are saying like, oh yeah, if you're one of the guys that are agreeing with this, and you in the past are talking about, oh, freedom of speech is so important, you are a hypocrite. This is literally just going after political opponents. This isn't free speech. This is literally the reason why we have free speech, is so that people can express counterpoints to political ideas and political stances. That's the whole point. He's going after people protesting him.
Wait.
From the freedom of speech, which I always felt strongly about, but never passed the courts.
You said what? On more than one occasion, the courts have upheld the freedom to burn a flag as under freedom of speech. So now he's claiming he's just taking that all away. Well, I guess we're going to see how that's going to go down. I don't think it's going to go well. This is insane.
And someone explained to me why Trump is saying that he's taken away freedom of speech and it didn't pass the courts. Like, what? What?
Burning mob.
Unbelievable. Should we say the freedom of speech is gone? This has been the biggest American flex. Flexing about freedom has been the biggest thing for Americans, especially knowing that sometimes they can't change things, but at least they can voice out, which is amazing. And some still believe that our president can say that he can't be doing this to us. This should be AI videos.
Taking freedom of speech away? You're actually fucking joking, right? That clip you saw better be fucking AI.
What I find more interesting is to see that there are Americans who have never felt that freedom. Like, we speak about freedom of speech pertaining Americans, but there are Americans who have long to believe that it was all a scam. We have never had it. So check this.
A lot of y'all saying we losing the freedom of speech. I'm just wondering, when have you ever seen it? When in your entire life have you ever seen the freedom of speech? I'll just wait. When? Because it was never contained in the Constitution. It was just wished upon there. Real free speech has never been an enforced right in this country's history. Ever. It's just been a possibility, a flare in the dark every time somebody dared to walk against silence. And I'll make it super clear. Black people have never had free speech. Black people ever. From plantations to prisons, every word a black person has ever spoken has cost blood. A song could get you whipped. A pamphlet could get you lynched. The truth could get you assassinated. And then you be dead and it still be true. That's what would happen. And white folks, you thought you had it, but you only ever kept it until it came down to women. That's when it happened, until it came down to workers, until it came down to anyone who threatened the empire you inherited. Then you learn quick. Your speech is only as free as the lines they drew. Right? I'm just saying, same victims of the stuff we got hit with, we just watched it hit you in slow motion. So don't tell me about losing it. The truth is that America never let it live. That's what happened. They trained you to worship a constitution that lets money dictate what God gave you freely. That's what's going on right now. They told you, look, you can say what you want, while corporations decide what's visible, while algorithms decide what's profitable, while culture trains you to cancel yourself before you ever even open your mouth. So let's talk about if the government can't jail you, because people like, the government can't jail me. Oh, the government will be able to jail me. You already exist inside of a prison of your own mind. You only speak to each other when the surveillance network drops its pin, goes under the desk, and you think you're free because you can whisper. I'm just saying, you see how confusing this is? You're already gagged in hate speech. This is the truth about hate speech no one wants to say. You want to hear something controversial? Yeah, I'm about to say it right now. If speech was truly free, hate speech would never be a problem. Ever. Because hate only survives when greater society bypasses grief. When wounds go unspoken, hate offers a scapegoat. When history goes buried, hate hands you a target. When sorrow has no witness, hate performs as noise. I want you to think about this so deep. Grief metabolized becomes solidarity. Grief, when processed, becomes solidarity. Grief, when bypassed, becomes blame. So give grief its voice, and hate has nothing left to feed on. I just want you to make it make sense for yourself. It withers, not because it's banned, but because it can't scale, and the room already filled to the depth with truth. So if you can't understand nothing else, I want you to understand that the only thing God has ever given you has never been a right. Has never been a right. It was breath. That's what God gave you. That's freedom. That's speech. Not a parchment, not a platform, not permission. Freedom of speech is not what you inherited from this country. No, it's the flame you keep alive. And every time you speak past fear, freedom of speech. Every time you refuse the script, freedom of speech. Every time you let your lungs remind you that your voice was never theirs to give, freedom of speech. That's what it looks like. I just want you to understand it's about living a possibility, never about protecting.
It's absolutely incredible. I'm still getting comments saying that China has no freedom. It has no democracy. Your leaders, you can't vote for them, so it's not freedom. Well, have you seen the so-called democratic world? It's absolutely a mess. Total chaos. Their citizens have no security, have no real future, and they want better for themselves. And no wonder, wouldn't you? Believe it or not, they prefer China. Because thanks to Xiaohongshu, they're seeing the real China, and they like it very much. And the ones who do travel here to China, they like it very much and would love to stay. But unfortunately, China is not a migration country. Hence, the best option is to improve your own governments and to look for something better. Perhaps not voting for incompetent leaders would be a good start.
That was it about this compilation. As I wind up this video, something came to mind, guys. Your comments crack me. Like, there's a comment that was reading, and I quote, it's about time that Chinese start manufacturing freedom and sell it to America, because they're obsessed with freedom that they have not touched. So anyway, that's cracked me. That comment was was beyond what I expected to read. So that was it about this compilation. I hope it doesn't go away, because you know what free speech does. Yeah, because of the power of media, that's why it's being suppressed. But we hope that Americans will still voice and they will still call out what is wrong, because we might think that we are not making an impact, but even speaking out is a big thing. Yeah, like the video for recommendations, subscribe if you're new here, share your thoughts in the comment section, and goodbye for now. Appreciate you.